Keanu attempts to change the subject in interviews. In his interview with Jimmy Fallon, many have pointed out that when Jimmy first brings up the theory, Keanu is visibly uncomfortable and attempts to change the subject. He dodges the question, and instead focuses on the man in the painting's strange hand gesture. But what makes the dodge even more intriguing is that while Reeves jokes about the unusual hand positioning, it's a positioning that Reeves himself has used in the past. So in trying to deflect from the theory, Reeves may have actually proved it. Reeves has addressed the rumors in an interview. In at least one interview, Reeves has addressed the rumors that he is an undying soul. During his chat with Jimmy Fallon, Fallon broached the subject, and Reeves conceded that he does indeed look like some historical figures. When Fallon showed him a portrait of a man painted by 16th century artist Parmigianino who looks like eerily similar to Reeves, he said, "We have a likeness in the eyes. And the nose and the mustache and the beard and the cheekbones and the forehead." A lot of people believe Keanu is immortal. This is not some fringe conspiracy theory or the workings of an overactive imagination. A lot of people really seem to believe that Reeves is immortal. According to a poll conducted by Tilt, more than 74% of people polled think Keanu has been given the gift of eternal life. An alternative theory suggests he's a time traveler. A variation on the immortality theme is the alternate theory that Reeves is actually a time traveler. Because he shares a resemblance to the subjects of more than one historical painting, proponents of this theory are convinced that Reeves has the ability to travel through time. The immortality theory already seems like a stretch, but this idea seems even more outlandish. Why would a time traveler want to draw attention to themselves by sitting for paintings and immortalizing their image? He may have been the Emperor Charlemagne. Lending further kindling to the immortal Keanu fire is his physical resemblance to another historical figure, the European Emperor Charlemagne, who lived from 748 to 814. Legend has it that Charlemagne showed few signs of aging, and many believe he predicted his own death. Just a week before he passed away, he quickly crowned his son his co-emperor and eventual successor. After Charlemagne died, he was buried hastily and without much fanfare. Odd when you consider he was the emperor of the free world at the time, leading some to speculate that he was never dead at all. Enter Keanu, stage left. He may have been a French actor named Paul Mounet. Proponents of the immortal Keanu theory often compare him to an obscure French doctor-turned-actor named Paul Mounet, who lived from 1847 to 1922. Yes, there's a stunning physical likeness between the pair, but the details of Mounet's life add fuel to the fire that he's actually Keanu Reeves. Sure, it requires a stretch of the imagination, but the theory is that Mounet started his career as a doctor as a cover for his immortality. In the words of Keanu is immortal. Calm, the rise of medical science could have been a problem to an immortal, but by becoming a baron of medicine he gained protection from any kind of inquiry about his everlasting appearance. Also, after Mounet died, his body disappeared. Is it because he's perhaps walking among us today? His generosity comes from living a long, perhaps very long, life. In recent years, stories have emerged showcasing how kind and big-hearted Reeves is. This generosity has added more credence to the notion that the actor is immortal. His kindness, the theory goes, could only come from living a long life. Reeves once said, "Money is the last thing I think about. I could live on what I have already made for the next few centuries." Centuries, Keanu. Few people think centuries in advance unless, perhaps, they have good reason.
His fashion sense doesn't age either.
There are certain classic looks that will always be in fashion. But most people are products of their time and culture, something that usually influences how one dresses. Keanu, however, doesn't follow by those rules. Ever since he rose to prominence in the 80s, Reeves has maintained a more or less consistent, ageless fashion sense. Is it more proof that he's immortal, or is he just a smart dresser?
He doesn't seem to age.
Another point in favor of Reeves being immortal is that he bafflingly does not seem to age. In 2018, Reeves looks practically identical to how he looked in the early 90s.
He's lived as multiple different people over time.
One of the main arguments supporting the theory that Keanu is immortal is the suggestion that the actor has lived as various people throughout time. He bears a striking resemblance to a number of historical figures and subjects of paintings. It makes sense if Reeves has really been around since time began. He's probably wanted to try on a few different hats. Even being Keanu Reeves would get boring after a while.
Hey guys, thank you so much for the support and likes and comments down below, and also thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to see you in the next video. Then take care, bye.